Subnautica puts you alone on an alien ocean, stranded with no weapons, no backup. Everything about this should terrify you, and everything you build could be destroyed. Everything you are could be forgotten. You could die and this world wouldn't even notice. But here's the thing, that's not what happens. Something else occurs, something I've spent hundreds of hours trying to understand. Embracing the abyss. The ocean doesn't know you're there. You're not the main character, the peepers don't care, and the schools of fish don't need you to survive. Most games ask, how do you conquer this world? But Subnautica asks something different. How do you live here without conquering anything? That question, that shift in thinking, it changes everything. Because the moment you stop asking, how do I win? You start noticing things. The way the water moves, the patterns in how creatures swim. The world just being without needing you to be a part of it. The developers wanted you to have that wow feeling. Discovery, wonder, not dominance. And then you can hear it. A low rumble, the shadow of something massive. Everything stops. Your heart spikes. Something ancient just arrived in front of you. A reefback whale. This thing's been alive longer than you can imagine, and it's swimming right at you. You should run. Every instinct screams to stop, to hide, to get away from something that enormous, something that alien. But it doesn't even see you. You hover there, frozen, and it just drifts past. Ancient, moving like you're water, and water is just what it moves through. You're not prey, you're not a threat, you're nothing. You're a part of the ocean, and even the ocean doesn't notice you. That should feel lonely. But standing there in the shadow of something that old, something that existed before you got here and will exist long after, you realize you've never been more okay with that. Because here's what happens in that moment. When you acknowledge you're small, when you accept that you don't matter in the grand scheme of things, something releases. You stop fighting. You stop needing to win. And that knowledge is what lets you finally feel at home. It's not fear, it's recognition. You're cosmically alone with no backup. The ocean doesn't need you. The reefbacks are drifting whether you're here or not. The systems keep running. The currents keep flowing. You're not the main character of this world, simply a visitor. And somehow, that's the freest thing you'll ever feel in a game. Most games make the world revolve around you. Enemies spawn when you arrive. Events trigger. Everything matters because you're there. But not Subnautica. Stop, hover, and the world keeps going. You build, explore, grow more capable, and the ocean stays larger than you. No matter what you build, if tomorrow you were gone, if your base turned to scraps and the ocean took it away, the reefbacks would keep swimming. The kelp would keep growing. The world would keep moving like you were never there to begin with. And the moment you accept that, the moment you stop holding your breath, stop bracing for control you'll never have, you can finally be here, not as a conqueror, as a guest, and that's when you're free. It feels like permission. Permission to exist without needing to matter, to be here without needing to conquer anything, to love this world without owning any of it. If this resonated with you, if you felt that shift from fear to acceptance, from fighting to finally being at home, you've already experienced what my novella One Good Run is about. It's 60 pages, a skater named Sketch, grief, loss, and the moment you stop fighting yourself and start becoming who you actually are. The same theme, but a different world. If you want to see more of that work, more essays like this, more stories exploring what it means to accept yourself, drop a subscribe. There's more coming. Now let's get back to the ocean. But there's something deeper than all of this. The abyss. It's always been there. Leviathans in the dark, creatures that'll destroy you, things waiting beneath everything. And here's the thing. You're never actually safe here. Not metaphorically, literally. Your base could be breached. You could drift too far. You could die alone in the water that doesn't even know you're dead. That should be terrifying. But it's not. Because that's when something shifts. That's when accepting danger starts to feel like relief. The moment you stop trying to be safe, the moment you accept that safety is impossible, something releases. You don't have to win anymore. You don't have to conquer what's beneath you. You just have to exist. That's surrender. And in most games, in most of life, surrender feels like failure. But here, it feels like coming home. The abyss doesn't ruin the calm. It's what makes the calm possible. When you know what lives below, when you accept what lives below, everything above means something completely different. The reef back, your base, the light gleaming through the surface of the water. You're not safe. The ocean's indifferent. The leviathans are waiting. And somehow knowing that makes this moment feel like the only moment that matters. That's when it looks like when awe does its work. When you're standing in the presence of something vast and beautiful and completely indifferent to you. Something shifts. Awe doesn't make you feel bigger, it makes you feel smaller. And that smallness, that humility, it connects you to something greater than yourself. Here's what this game understands. Most games ask, how do you win? Subnautica asks, how do you live with what you can't win against? Can you embrace the abyss? Can you stop fighting it? Can you build your way home anyway, knowing it might not last? That's not escape. That's not victory. That's what it looks like to become invisible, to exist without mattering, to live in the presence of death and not be destroyed by it. The ocean doesn't need you. The abyss doesn't care. And that knowledge is the freest thing you'll ever feel. Because once you've accepted that you might not survive, once you've made peace with the abyss beneath you, you're finally free to build something here. The abyss is still there, the leviathans in the dark, the creatures that could destroy your base, the vast indifference of an ocean that doesn't need you. But here's what I finally understood after hundreds of hours. That knowledge isn't terrifying anymore. It's the thing that set me free. Because the moment you accept you don't matter, that you're insignificant in the face of something ancient and beautiful and completely indifferent to you, you can finally just be here, not as a conqueror, not as a survivor, just as somebody sitting in the grassy plateaus, looking up at a reef back, drifting over your head, feeling at home in a world that doesn't need you to survive it. The abyss doesn't care, but you do, and the moment you decide to accept it instead of fight it, that's when you're finally free.